What is going on, everybody? Tanner Pfeiffer here, Pfeiffer Football on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on there. But this is the NFL Rumors podcast. Holy cow, we got 94 people watching and climbing. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We've got a lot to talk about. This is episode 8 of season 2 of the NFL Rumors podcast, joined by the great, famous Twitter account, NFL Rumors. Welcome.
Well, thanks. I really appreciate it. Glad to be on. A
I
lot
am
of things
too, man.
going on this week. Really, it's been crazy.
We've got so much to talk about, but first, guys, I want to make sure you guys know that this podcast is brought to you by Expand Sports. Make sure you go to expandsports.com. If you're an athlete looking to get your awareness and your brand out there, Expand Sports is a great place to do it for free. Sign up for free, and all it is free exposure, my friends. If you want to get your highlights out there, make sure you post them on there as well. But yeah, we've got so many rumors right now going on. We got head coach interviews being requested all around the league. Some hot name coordinators out there at the moment. So, what's up? So I forgot. We actually have a live chat. I can see what people are commenting on Twitter. So welcome, Ballin and Can't Get Up. He says, turn up. Well, welcome. I appreciate the comment. But yeah, we've got so many hot name coordinators out there, like Ben Johnson. Who's the one from the Ravens defensive coordinator?
Mike McDonald.
Mike McDonald. Yeah, exactly. So like, he's a first-year defensive coordinator in the NFL, I believe. So I mean, he's already getting interest. It's just, I feel like this league is turning into a young man's coaching league. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Mike McDonald just got a request for an interview for the Falcons, who's looking for a head coach.
Yeah.
So that could end up being a good situation for them. I think the Falcons is a good option for Mike McDonald, but he's getting a lot of love right now.
Yeah, he really is. Now, in my opinion, I think the Falcons have been requesting several people like Aaron Glenn as well from the Lions. But in my opinion, if you're a Falcons fan or a Falcons admin person, wouldn't you want an offensive-minded head coach now?
Yeah, unless that you could come and bring up a really good OC. Like if you could bring a good OC, that's going to be the sell job of these defensive coordinators is
Right.
what OC are you going to bring to the table?
I mean, I guess it depends on who the head coach is and what they can bring to who they can entice to come and coach for them. But my thing is like you've got Arthur Smith. You don't want to replace Arthur Smith with just another Arthur Smith. To me, that's what I really compare Mike Vrabel and Arthur Smith. Don't get me wrong, two different people, two different head coaches. Both can be great head coaches, but you kind of have the same slow offensive system. Pretty stout defense, can play competitively, can keep you in the games, can get you like a competitive record, can possibly take you to the playoffs, but it's just like they never have enough to push you over the edge. And I think that's something that was always missing from Vrabel's and Arthur Smith's offense.
Yeah, one big name as we talk about Mike Vrabel. We'll get into all the coaching rumors
Mm-hmm.
for all the teams, but we'll start with the Titans, and I'm gonna move to the Patriots.
All right,
So
sounds great.
the Titans, when we're looking at that, the one name that keeps coming up is Bobby Slowick, and
Bobby Slowick.
that's the Texans offensive coordinator and what he's done with C.J. Stroud, and Rand Carthon was with the 49ers organization,
Mm-hmm.
and he's got ties to the OC there, and that is a good situation that he could get a chance to bring his own guy in, and he is an upcoming talent in the league, and to get somebody like him to put your offensive in place in the one cut run that Kyle Shanahan runs, I think it'll be pretty big.
So Balling and Can't Get Up says the Falcons just need a coach that can actually use the players they drafted. Now, don't even get me started there because, yeah, I feel like freaking Kyle Pitts, insane talent, one of the highest prospected tight ends, right, in recent years. First tight end picked in the top 5. Is it ever or like in a very long time?
Yeah,
Kyle Pitts,
long
Drake
time.
London, Bijan Robinson, 3 first-round picks used in the last 3 years on offensive players, and they're just not being utilized.
Yeah, I would like if you look at the Falcons' job before we get into the Patriots,
Mm-hmm.
they've got a lot of young. They're going after a lot of young people as well. Burry, like maybe not a big name coach, but I wouldn't count out that Arthur Blank don't contact Bill Belichick
Yep.
because he has went for the big names before. He just struck out, right?
He
And
went for Lamar Jackson.
yep, he might go for some of the big coaches there, but some of the names that the Falcons have requested interviews for is Brian Callahan, the Bengals offensive coordinator,
Yep.
Everjoe, the Panthers defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn, the Lions defensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, they would love to land for sure. He's the big coveted prize in the coaching carousel before
Yep.
Bill Belichick. Raheem Morris of the Rams, and he's got ties to the Falcons organization. Another name that we just mentioned, Bobby Slowick.
Bobby Sloak.
He's right there again for the Falcons. Anthony Weaver is another one, and Steve Wilkes. So if you're looking for offense, you're looking at Brian Callahan, Ben Johnson, and Bobby Slowick. And
Now,
I'll
who
tell
is
you,
Weaver? Where's he from?
Anthony Weaver, defensive line coach for the Ravens, assistant head coach to John Harbaugh.
Gotcha. Yep.
So when you're looking at that, Ben Johnson will be the prize. And Ben
Mm-hmm.
Johnson might look at that Falcons job, to be honest, Tanner, and really like it, right? Because he had Gibbs and he's like, hey, put in Bijan Robinson. All I have to do is go get a quarterback. And I can have this team ready to rock.
If
Because the
he's doing what he's doing with Jared Goff, I mean, don't get me wrong, Jared Goff has performed very well the last 2 years. But if he's doing what he's doing with Jared Goff, and he has Sam Laporta, a rookie tight end, imagine him with Kyle Pitts. Get yourself maybe a game manager quarterback. I do not want to label Jared Goff as that, but get you someone who can manage the game better. And then, yeah, you've got those offensive weapons. You got your star wide receiver, Drake London, who I think has tons of potential. That's a great freaking point there, man. I think that's you're right on it there. Ben Johnson could really look at the Falcons job.
Yeah, I think so. I think when you look at the Patriots, so we got a report that came out, I mean, really quick today
Mm-hmm.
that the Patriots have a contract in place, but it was a previous contract, right? As a successor for Jared Mayo, because they blocked everybody from interviewing Jared Mayo in the past, right? The Patriots did. So the
Yes.
Patriots, per Tom Curran of NBC, said that the plan is for him to be their next head coach. So that might
Now,
be a
what do
big
you
ball
think?
drop.
Do you think that's the best option for New England?
As we was talking before the show, I mean, I know it's going to be hard to go against Mike Vrabel just because he's New England through and through.
Right.
But I think maybe they have a different look there than a lot of people has, and maybe that's why they didn't want nobody to interview Jared Mayo in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And so it sounds like Jared Mayo's in line to get this Patriots job unless something happens there.
Now, who do you think is the next best option in New England if it's not Jared Mayo?
I think it's Mike Vrabel.
Mike Vrabel.
I think there's your two, right? If one of those two guys will end up getting that job, in my opinion.
You think that's the best fit?
I think it could be, but if you want to wash your hands of Bill Belichick totally, like if you want to wash it from all his assistants and everything, you're gonna have to get away from Mike Vrabel and Jared Mayo. If you're wanting to go fresh with the
My thing is if you go with Vrabel, you're gonna just have another. You're just gonna have another Tennessee Titans looking team. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, stout can keep you in the games, competitive, pain in the butt for other teams. They just don't have the offensive juggernaut talent. Just seems out of date, sort of.
well, the Patriots definitely with their high first round pick have to go quarterback. No way around it, right?
Yeah, the way Zappy was performing I mean, he just Mac Jones. Yeah, they got to go quarterback.
Yeah, I think so. I think the Patriots really got to go, man. get that quarterback to make them successful. Bill Belichick, my two teams for him, Tanner,
Hmm.
is the Commanders or the Chargers. That is my two way to go. Commanders, you get like a very solid guy there to kind of hand over the team to get them going in the right direction. Then you could
Yeah.
hire a really good offensive mind for a successor later on. But
Hmm.
the Chargers is the team that keeps on coming up that could land Bill Belichick, right? The Chargers. This is the team that's got a quarterback ready team
Quarterback.
already, right? This if Bill Belichick has a choice between the Commanders and the Chargers, I really bet money that he's going to pick the Chargers. The reason why is because they have Justin Herbert.
They've got Justin Herbert, got Keenan Allen, who had a career year at the age of 30, 31, something like that. I love what the Chargers have, but someone has made the point to me that the Chargers will be atrocious next season with cap.
They got to a
Why
lot of
would Bill
make a lot of
Belichick?
moves.
Why would he inherit a team that is that bad off in cap space? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with that. I think that will be something that went into his decision. The Commanders has got a lot of space, but does he want to get into a situation where am I going to coach long enough where I can sit and develop a quarterback?
Mm,
Uh, if he,
that's true. He's 71, 72 years old. He doesn't want to look for a quarterback, draft a quarterback, develop the quarterback. He probably wants to go somewhere that's got a franchise guy, has the pieces in place.
yeah, he could look. I mean, Atlanta could be a job that he might look at as well. I mean, he could look at Kyle Pitts, John Robinson, look at some of the wide receivers they got, and possibly think about adding a wide receiver and see if they can go get a quarterback.
Yeah, they would have to. What would you think if Belichick went to the Atlanta Falcons? Could you see them possibly trading for a quarterback, Justin Fields, anything
I
like
think
that?
Justin Fields could be a guy if the Bears were willing to make that move, right? If the Bears was willing to make that move, I think definitely. I think they could really make a move there to get Fields. Um, I just got the gut feeling that Justin Fields might end up coming back to the Bears. I like them to pick Marvin Harrison early on.
I mean, yeah, with Marvin Harrison declaring for the draft, how do you not? How do you not select him? We've got Ballin and Can't Get Up says he asks where we think Ron Rivera will end up, and then fantasy football. Patrick, what's up, man? The He says Bill Belichick needs a quarterback. He's not going to go anywhere to start over. It's why he's leaving the Patriots. They're on a total rebuild.
Yeah, my man Patrick, what's up? And yeah, definitely. Ron Rivera, great question. Could Ron Rivera come somewhere and where he has to be a DC, right, for a bit? That's a really good question where he could come up, be a defensive coordinator,
Yeah.
or if somebody really wants him as a head coach. I think a head coach could be a tough one to pull out. DC, you know what I mean?
Right
I
for a
really
bit.
do.
Yeah.
I think it could be really tough for him to get a head coach job. Looking at the jobs that you got, like the Panthers are not picking them up. They parted ways with them before. You look at the Falcons. I don't think that they're going to go that way. The Chargers. He's actually was a defensive coordinator at one point with the Chargers, and I don't think he'll go that way. So I mean, you got a lot of different areas that I think he could go, but I lean toward defensive coordinator.
For
I
Ron
really
Rivera.
do. Yeah, that's right now is what I'm leaning toward.
Yeah, his last few stints haven't been successful as a head coach, especially in the last 5+ years.
You
Nothing
know,
impressive.
Dan Quinn is a name that I think everybody needs to really pay attention to this year. If Dan Quinn, I think the Chargers is a team, if they don't get Bill Belichick, will really like Dan Quinn. And
Hmm.
another part of that with Dan Quinn is Seattle. The Seattle Seahawks, Dan Quinn cut his teeth there as defensive coordinator. So Seahawks is an awesome place for Dan Quinn. They already know him well. He
Yes.
just has to bring a good offensive staff in there.
Now my thing is here. Don't get me wrong. I think Dan Quinn's great, but he has proven that he is a great defensive coordinator. But I have seen nothing that makes him a great head coach. And I think like I tweeted it out yesterday, I think, or the day before. Some guys are just better as coordinators. There's tons of examples, tons. Um, Dan Quinn's an example. Uh, Dolphins defensive coordinator. Vic Fangio is an example.
Hmm.
Way better defensive coordinator than he is a head coach. We got several guys. Mike Pettin or Pettin, is that how you say it? Pettin, yeah, he was a better defensive coordinator than he was head coach. Or I don't even know if he. I think he was with the Browns, right?
Yeah, he was a head coach of the Browns. Kyle
Yeah,
Shanahan was his OC.
yeah. So, I just think there's guys that are better fit for defensive coordinators, offensive coordinator. Then you got the Jets offensive coordinator, who's a horrible. Nathaniel Hackett was a horrible head coach, and not trying to knock him or anything. And yes, this year was really bad, and so was last year. But he's definitely a better offensive coordinator than he was a head coach, and he's done nothing to prove us otherwise. Rare Goat says, "What's the way forward for the Commanders? Nothing they do turns out right."
Well, yeah, the Commanders. I think that they'll look at Bill Belichick will be one that they'll really look at. One of the things that they're dead set, I'm hearing on trying to land Peters. Adam Peters, one of the best executives in the league, still help John Lynch get all these trades going, make the 49ers organization what it is right now.
Yeah.
I think that will be the first step of getting a good head coach in there. Is getting him over as GM. He'll keep Martin Mayhew too if he comes over because Martin Mayhew and him work together in San Francisco in the front office.
Now, Ballin says, I'm pretty sure Dan Quinn said he doesn't want to leave the Cowboys, but every coach says that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. One thing you really want to watch for the Cowboys, Gary alluded to this. Gary Myers, inside the NFL guru who started the show that you see the show now on the CW. He two teams that he mentioned for Bill Belichick was the Cowboys and the Chargers. I happen to agree with them here. I think if the Cowboys lose their first game in the playoffs, I think Jerry Jones might get those thoughts going, being like, "Hey, Jerry Jones is getting up there in age too, right?
For
And
sure.
yeah, and will Bill Belichick put me over the top to get me back to the promised land, right? And that could be a decision that they have to make. If McCarthy loses to the Packers, and I honestly did not see. I don't know how he could keep him there, right? Like they would ask all the Cowboy fans was asked for his head, McCarthy's head if he
You
loses to
know,
the
I'm a
Packers.
Packers fan. And as a Packers fan, I would like to see McCarthy succeed, but it's just a shame that he went to the Cowboys. So, as a Packers fan, I want us to go and beat the Cowboys very badly.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, you're right. I don't know how they keep him just to keep repeating the same thing almost, Jason Garrett that way, kind of getting knocked out early, knocked out early. It's been that way with Mike McCarthy, who's the guy that has one of the best, if not the best coaching careers ever and is available. But do
yeah.
you really see Cowboys as a fit for Bill Belichick?
I definitely do. I definitely do because Bill Belichick, that's a team that's ready to win. Like they got defensive, offensive pieces. It'd be a place that he could go and get a shot at winning the Super Bowl, right? And just imagine you leave the Patriots, you go to the Cowboys, you win them a Super Bowl, you become a legend in two towns, right? Pretty much what you do. One of the things too, I want to talk about the Raiders for a moment. I think Antonio Pierce, the fans want him. The players want him. A lot of the old players like Charles Woodson want him as their
Mm-hmm.
coach. I would not discount Tom Brady being was the part owner there with Davis about throwing Mike Vrabel in his ear.
You think Tom Brady likes Mike Vrabel?
Oh yeah,
Well,
definitely.
I mean, he played for him, but like,
Yeah.
I just
Antonio,
don't see why Vrabel should be a head coach.
yeah, I just think he's a leader. You know what I mean? Like
He
he's
is a
not going
leader.
to bring your offense. He's got to bring a good offensive coordinator in. But my gut feeling says they keep Antonio Pierce, try to go get somebody like Eric Bieniemy, right?
As a head coach,
As OC, I think they keep Antonio Pierce, then try to go get Eric Bieniemy as OC.
why would he leave the Commanders and for the same
They've already
position?
told him after the playoffs they're releasing him.
They told him that.
Yep, he's gone.
The enemy is.
Yep, he is gone. He's going to be
I
available.
where was that? I did not see that.
Yep, they said all the staff they're shaking up the whole staff pretty
Right.
much.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yep. So the Commanders are, and the Chiefs actually inquired reportedly about Eric Bieniemy about if they was going to release him because I believe they was thinking about hiring him for the playoffs.
Coming back.
Yeah, and but the report was that the Commanders said they would not let anybody out of contract till after the playoffs.
That would be a Chiefs thing to do now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that was just a report I read. I don't know how accurate that is,
Yeah, right.
but that's what I was reading that report that they were interested. Like when you're talking about rumors, like they're going to be people that in these front offices that tries to throw something to stick on the wall because if somebody else hears it, then they're going to actually make a phone call, right, and see how accurate it is. And that's what happens a lot of times. Like for us, a few years ago, Tony Jefferson reached out to us and was like asking us about anything you were hearing on him. So you know what I mean, and they make those phone calls. You know what I mean, and things like that. So I think when you're looking at that, I think the Titans. I really like Slowick to the
Yeah.
Titans. I
You
really
guys
like
are
that.
hearing it here first. Projection, not a fact, but a projection. Bobby Slowick, great fit for the Tennessee Titans.
Last year we made everybody listening right now. Last year we made a prediction. It was D'Amico Ryans to the Texans,
Yeah.
and
And that happened.
D'Amico Ryans is the Texans head coach. You know, so we felt that was a good connection. A lot of things that they got going on there. Um, I think when you're looking at some of these coaches, you need to look at the GMs. The Panthers, I'm hearing with the Panthers that there are a lot of coaches that's a little gun shy right now of the Panthers
Think so.
because of their owner. Their owner like throwing, you know, beer at the fans and
Yeah, that was not a good
all
look
that.
for him or the Panthers as an organization. The way the offense played this year, the way Bryce Young played, it just didn't look good, man. 2 wins, I think.
Yeah, and got rid of Frank Reich after like not even one full season. And like when a
Yeah.
coach sees that, Tanner, they're like, "Oh wow, what kind of job security do I have with this
Yeah,
guy?"
that's true. That's probably hard for a GM to make that sort of decision. Let a coach go mid-season like that.
Definitely. When you're looking at some of those like the Falcons, I think the Falcons' job's up in the air. I think it really depends what Bill Belichick does. I think they'll look at Mike Vrabel too. They'll look at some of these assistants like Mike McDonald's a hot name right now. It'll be interesting to see what he does. But Ben Johnson will be one to watch too, where he goes. Last year, I would have like told you 90%. I believe that Ben Johnson will go to the Panthers. But after he's seen maybe some of this stuff from the owner, I think that might be like more of a 50-50 shot now.
They would have to offer him quite the contract and some sort of like security, right?
Yeah, Ben Johnson's already told people he wants 10 to 15 million a season. You're going to have to pay for him to leave Detroit. So you're definitely going to have to pay him if he leaves Detroit. And he's from that Carolina area. So that makes coaches, Tanner, get excited. You know what I mean? When they can go back home.
That's true. And a
Be
chance at
interesting.
being a head coach.
Well, they got a quarterback there, right? Like he could be looking like Ben Johnson could be like, hey, we got Bryce Young here. I just got to put some pieces around him,
Mm-hmm.
and their defense is top notch. Their defense is like one of the top 5 in the NFL.
Yeah, it
So
was playing really well, wasn't it?
yeah, so I mean, really, he just has to fix the offense. So it could be appealing. Could be appealing. Um, I think that's my number one pick right now is Ben Johnson to the Panthers. I
You
think
still
that
think?
I
So you
still
were at
think.
90% last off season. What are you at now?
Well, I'm thinking 50-50 on that.
Jaden, what is up? Thank you so much for joining. Glad to have you here, man. Uh, he's from Expand Sports. Make sure you guys go check out Expand Sports. You're saying 50-50 right now, Ben Johnson to the Carolina
50-50
Panthers.
Ben Johnson to Carolina Panthers, I believe. We'll have to see how those ramp up after if the Lions get to another game, they're going to be playing the Rams. So it'll be interesting to see. I think don't look over to Tanner. Looking over the Rams DC, they're I
Raheem
think
Morris?
yes, I would say don't look over him because he had a lot of people like him around the league.
Here's my question. You're saying 50-50 chance. 50-50 chance. Uh, Ben Johnson to the Carolina Panthers. Where's the other 50% at? Is it staying with the Lions or is it another job?
I think it's another job. He's going to be offered like a lot of different jobs. I guarantee he'll be get a chance to interview with the Titans. He'll get a chance to interview with the Falcons. You
So you
know,
think what's the percent chance you think Ben Johnson stays in Detroit?
0.
Zero. Wow.
I think he'll. I don't think he'll stay with the Lions. Yeah, I
Wow.
think I think he's going to take the head coaching job. This year. I really do. I think this is a chance for him. And my other 50, I believe, to be honest with you, if Bill Belichick doesn't take the Chargers job, it'll change things, it will change my opinion. But I think Ben Johnson might look at that Falcon job. I really do. Because of the talent that they got there.
I like that fit.
Yeah, I do. The Commanders, right, like the Commanders. I think it'll be really dependent. Adam Peters could go give Slowick a chance as well in Washington. I want you to think about this is a good match too, because if Adam Peters goes to Washington, Slowick was already there as an offensive assistant once for Kyle Shanahan, so it'll kind of be like going home for him.
Huh.
Yeah, the Atlanta Falcons that we got some there with Bill, um, Joshua Cancel, and I think I wouldn't rule it out. I think Arthur, I think Blanks is wanting to definitely wanting to get a high profile name as a coach. I wouldn't rule it out at all. My three for Bill Belichick is the Falcons, the Chargers, and the Commanders. That's my three.
Falcons, Chargers, Commanders. In that
Yeah.
order?
I'm going to say in the order Chargers, Commanders, Falcons, in my opinion.
Now, I did see something today. It said the Commanders were not going to pursue Bill Belichick. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. I didn't. But that's always a possibility. They might decide they want to go with a different way there. Especially like they might want to go with a young offensive assistant. It all depends, Tanner, with the GM hire. If Adam Peters gets hired, he's going to
Yeah.
he's going to look at that San Francisco tree.
Let me see if I can find it real quick, and I'm answer this question or this comment in the chat real quick. I'm gonna look for that and send it to you.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh. As you look at Jim Harbaugh, I mean, a lot of people thinks he's going to go back to Michigan. He was a name that had a lot of interest last year. Jim Harbaugh wanted to. Speculation was he wanted to be the Chargers coach, but that job was not open with Brandon Staley. And now they've let go of Brandon Staley. So Jim Harbaugh, the Chargers, I think was a big old link. The Bears was a link early in the off season, but that's pretty much gone. So I think if Jim Harbaugh comes to the NFL, I could see him going to the Chargers maybe.
Okay. And also, it was Jordan Schultz that reported it. Despite speculation that the Commanders might hire Bill Belichick, the organization plans to go in a different direction. For Bleacher Report.
Yep. So I mean, that could be it, right? They could end up doing that. And like I said, it all depends on their GM. It's
Yeah,
what it is. The GM hires what you got to really watch with a lot of these teams. They're going to go out there and they're going to pair somebody that they can work with.
yeah.
Right. That's the key. Bill Belichick, like I agree. I agree definitely with Joshua here that I think that if the Atlanta Falcons could come up with the way to lure Bill Belichick there, I think it would be they would try to do it. I really do. I mean, the difference is I always have the question, can you get a quarterback? You get what I'm saying? Can you go get a quarterback? They've been a lot of speculation too, Tanner, early on that the Falcons are in the Kirk Cousins market.
And I saw a report yesterday saying that Vikings want Kirk Cousins back for 2024.
Exactly. And I do think that they will. I do think that they do want him back. Justin Jefferson even went there to the team and said he wanted them back. If you want to sign Justin Jefferson, you better bring Kirk Cousins back.
I think after seeing that, the way the offense was playing without him, realizing that they don't really have consistency at the quarterback position, even with Josh Dobbs there and that rookie Jalen Hall, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want Kirk Cousins?
Well, I'll give you the speculation we tweeted about earlier. They said that they're one team that is still interested in Bill Belichick, but they have a head coach at the moment. That was some speculation out earlier today, right? So, it'll be interesting to see what team that will be. I mean, I do not know the team, to be honest with you. But it'll be interesting. Is it the Dallas Cowboys? Right? Is it a team like the
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota Vikings? Right? Is it a team like that? I don't know. The answer to that, I would love to tell you the truth and say, hey, I'd love to say, hey, yeah, I know what that team is. I really don't. It's just some speculation this morning that they was a team that what was interested in Bill Belichick, but they currently have a head coach, so they have a decision to make, is what the speculation
Now
is.
it definitely could be the Cowboys.
Yeah, and the Cowboys, they seem that they're very set on McCarthy. I don't think I don't get the feeling that the Vikings are ready to move on from O'Connell.
Oh, I don't
Because
think so. I think he's secure for now.
but if Bill Belichick did go to the Vikings, he's already got his DC there, Brian Flores.
Now listen to this. That's true. That's a good point. But do you see Bill Belichick taking any position as a defensive coordinator
No way.
or head coach only?
No way. Just head coach. Yeah, head coach.
Head coach.
I think he's done with the front office stuff. I think he wants to just be a head coach and he wants to get to a team, wants to win the Super Bowl, and wants to ride out in the sunset.
Yeah.
I think if he wins the Super Bowl, he'll be ready to go. Another Super
Honestly,
Bowl.
it's hard not to like Bill Belichick. Like I know I'm not a New England fan, and I wasn't, and still I'm not. But you cannot not respect Bill Belichick. He's a winner. He's a great coach. Top 10 defense, top 10, 15 defense every single season. Um, I mean, just always. He always seems to have and help develop great players all
Well,
the time.
I'll tell you this too, Tanner. A lot of people ain't talking about this. A lot of people has talked about how Bill Belichick's team didn't perform. I want to throw this out there as well. A lot of people ain't talking about Bill Belichick had a top 10 defense this year, and
Yeah.
he lost his two best players on defense
Hmm.
early in the year. So when you're thinking about that, I mean
And one of
that
them was
is
a rookie.
yeah, yeah. I mean there. I mean he could have put a lot of things up like when you're looking at that, I mean, he could have been another Sauce Gardner, you know what I mean, or a
Yeah.
player like that. I think I really do. I think that is a situation that you got to look at. That he still knows how to coach defense. I mean, he can call his own defense. He don't need a DC when he gets another job.
Well, as we're approaching a 35-minute mark here on the NFL Rumors podcast, season 2, episode 8, what do you want to leave it at? What is your hot take, bold take right now to end the episode? What do you want the viewers to know?
Well, I'm very excited to watch these games this weekend. Especially excited to watch Matt Stafford coming back to Detroit.
Oh yeah.
It's a storyline that we talked about for a while, and it's really coming to fruition, and I can't wait. And I'm looking for seeing who's going to be the big upset this week. Looking forward to the big snow game in the Kansas City and Miami, where it's supposed to be -25 wind chill. So that'll be tough on people that's used to that Miami weather.
Yeah.
And but this is my take I want to leave. I think we see Bill Belichick go to the Los Angeles Chargers. That's what we see.
Honestly, I would love it. I think it's the Chargers are freaking due. I was always a big fan of Philip Rivers. I think the Chargers are due. Like, come on, it's their time. They have the talent, man. They just aren't getting the coaches.
One thing I'd like to add, a lot of people ain't talked about. There's one speculation that around Bill Belichick that not many people's talked about today because of course, they're just letting him have his moment, which is awesome. I
Yeah,
think it's great. But a name to watch with Bill Belichick is Chip Kelly, the former
Chip
Oregon
Kelly.
coach. Oh, as an OC, right?
Okay,
That's somebody to watch. That will be somebody to watch. He actually brought Chip Kelly to his team for New England several times to install some of Oregon's packages when Tom Brady was there. So
okay,
that
yeah.
is somebody to watch. Chip Kelly being an OC because I think he knows that he's not going to bring. I don't believe he's going to go and bring the current OC there in New England after the rest year that they had. Josh McDaniels is always an option. He loves bringing back McDaniels. I would really watch Chip Kelly though.
What would happen to Kellen Moore?
Kellen Moore interviewed for the Chargers job already,
Mm,
but I don't feel that he'll get that job. But Kellen Moore would, could be a situation where he'd move on unless Bill Belichick wanted to keep him. You know.
yep. Maybe a quarterback coach, but not offensive coordinator.
Right.
Quarterback coach at best.
He would move on maybe as an OC somewhere. I think that would be it. And watch Al Harris if Dan
Yes.
Quinn gets hired as the new Cowboys defensive coordinator too.
Or Packers.
Yep, he could be. But the DC, I hear the players love him there. So if Dan Quinn moves on, I look for Al Harris to get a shot at that job.
I know the Packers were desperately wanting a new defensive coordinator. And I think he's been a name rumored around too. He played for the Packers, right? Al Harris.
Yep, yeah, he's done a really good job. Look at some of the stuff that he's did with some of the corners there in Dallas. DeRon Bland leads the NFL this year in interceptions.
Yep.
Look what he did with Diggs as well. I mean, he's done some really good stuff with some cornerbacks there in Dallas.
He really has. I think I would like to see that. I think he deserves the opportunity there for sure.
You got it.
All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We're about close to 40 minutes here on this episode, so time to wrap it up, but we really, really appreciate all the support so far. I think we have over 10,000 impressions already on this live stream, but we had over 200 viewers at one point. So freaking awesome, you guys. Much love to you all. We cannot express the gratitude we have for you guys tuning in. So make sure you check out the podcast on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to your podcast from. We are on there. So make sure you guys tune in. If you just Google NFL Rumors, we pop up first thing. You do not want to miss out. We're going to be bringing you guys stuff all off season.
Exactly what I was going to do, Tanner, is exactly what I was going to say. We're going to bring stuff to you all off season. We got a big free agency show planned with talking about where people might go, some possible releases. Every year we do it on the Twitter, but this year we're going to take it to the podcast as well. Doing a lot of stuff and matching some people up so you kind of get the inside take of who might get to your team first.
Yep, it's going to be fun. I plan on having some guests on to be talking football. It's going to be a great time. Make sure you guys also check out the NFL Rumors newsletter. You can find that at our website, NFLRumors.com. Just click sign up, and it's a free newsletter. You guys, every few days, you get the best up-to-date NFL news. And it's you just got to tune in. Join the community, my friends. Guys, thank you so much. Rumors, once again, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Love doing it with you. Make sure you go and follow Tanner. He's got some really good stuff going on. Also, not only is he part of the NFL Rumors family, he's part of the Expand Sports family as well. And
Expand
he's going to be
Sports, y'all check
going
them out.
and he's going to be going and covering the Senior Bowl as well. So definitely be on the lookout. Need to follow him as well for all the breaking news. Uh, that you'll hear all around the league. And he's one of the first people to ever come up with the young players, the people that you might not hear about that might get drafted. The young players getting workouts. He's one of the top of the line at that. So check him
That's
out.
right, guys. Ian, I appreciate that that notice right there. No, I do. I try to, if you guys, smaller school guys, deserve a shot, need their names out there, that's what I did. That's what I do. And I made a lot of friends that way, and I've loved watching several friends in the league succeed. Benny Sapp finally signed on to the Packers for the rest of the season, and he's been playing lights out. Benny Sapp, shout out to you, man. Glad to see you succeeding. Big fan of yours. There's several other guys, Tyrell Shavers on the Bills. Just several guys I know around the league. Appreciate you guys, and I'm glad to see you succeeding. And with that, guys, thank you so much once again. We'll catch you on episode 9 of the NFL Rumors podcast.